Welcome to Faith on Film, a program created to keep you informed on what is happening in the world of faith and family entertainment. Today we are bringing you the fourth and final episode from the ICVM Storytellers Conference with 4 more interviews with people who are creating content that is good and safe for your family to watch. On today's show, you will hear from producer Dr. Frank Banfill, who will talk about his TV series for children, Kids Beach Club. We also had an opportunity to talk with screenwriter, author, comedian, and actor Tory Martin. You may have seen him on movies such as Heaven Bound, The Ultimate Legacy, Princess Cut, along with so many others, including The Resurrection of Gavin Stone, directed by none other than Dallas Jenkins, creator and director of The Chosen. You will also hear from teenager Brandon Swartz, who is an actor and producer and has launched his own production company producing faith-based content. And finally, we will hear from well-known right-to-life activist and founder of Operation Rescue, Randall Terry, as he shares with us about a new documentary he is producing on the right-to-life movement. Well, I think I've said enough. Let's get on with the show.
What's going on, folks? I'm Cameron Arnett, and of course, you're watching Faith on Film. And if you want to know what's going on, keep watching.
Okay, with me is a doctor in the house. I love saying that. Dr. Banfield's in the house. Dr. Frank.
Yeah, Dr. Frank Banfill.
We discussed that. And he has a show that I think a lot of you parents are going to be interested in, and grandparents actually. It's Kids Beach Club. And let's learn all about it, which I just found out some of it was filmed at Capernaum, I think, before I was there. But let's talk about the show. What is it?
So Kids Beach Club is modeled after our ministry's work that we've done over the years in public schools. So we do after-school Bible clubs in public schools all across the United States. COVID came along, shut down all the schools, so we had 10,000 children in schools, no longer in school. And so they were coming to our clubs every week, learning about character, but based on Scripture. And so it's we have a character focus each week, and then we play lots of games. It's lots of fun, but it's geared towards preteens. So we focus on that 8 to 12-year-old boy and girl. So COVID hits, shuts down. We pivoted to television, and then we started filming these episodes. Originally, we just shot one camera in our training room, and it was real low budget, and it was real hokey. But you know what? There was nothing else out there.
Yes.
And so parents started coming, kids coming. We had all these hits, thousands of hits on the website.
Where did you first get on during COVID? Like, where were parents finding you?
So they were parents of kids that were already in our program.
Okay.
So these were kids who were used to coming each week to their clubs in their schools.
Okay.
So, again, 10,000 kids at the time, and they're at home, and like, what do we do? As if you all remember, during that time, parents are scrambling, churches that we work with.
You couldn't go to playgrounds, you couldn't go to school, couldn't go to gyms.
And they're just stuck at home. And so this was, we did 6 episodes. Again, it was one camera, it was some volunteers that came in and kind of did some stuff.
I got a barn. I got some costumes. Let's put on
exactly.
a show.
Oh yeah, it was.
Mickey, Rooney, Judy Garland.
Somebody came in with these different hats, and it was,
it worked.
It worked. It met a need at the moment.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, what if we were intentional with this? What if we actually turned this into a show where we took these character lessons, but we scripted it, and we put stories around it, and we follow kids, preteens, 8 to 12 years of age, and jump into their lives. And what is it like for a 10-year-old to learn about responsibility? One of the character words. What's it like for an 11-year-old to learn about courage and live that out in their school? And so we jumped into this, and God has just blessed it. We actually filmed in the same studios where Barney was filmed. And if you see any of our episodes, they always start in a park scene, and one of the trees in the park is one of the original trees from Barney. And so that's kind of our little claim to fame with the show.
So you're Dallas-based?
We're Dallas-based.
And you said you filmed some at Capernaum, which is west of Fort Worth, which is where I work right now. And what did you guys film there? Was it studio or in the village, or where did you film?
Yeah, everywhere. Not in the studio, but everywhere outside. So in the show, just like in our clubs, we have multiple segments. In the clubs, we have multiple parts of it. And one of those that we call our Bible Connect time. So on the television show, we have a pastor who shares the Bible story that connects with the character work. So in our first season, we had him on a studio set where we filmed the others, and he, looked like a pastor's office. And that was great, but it's like, it's a little boring. Then we found out about Capernaum. And we're like, man, this is awesome. And it's just, 45 minutes or so away. So we went out there, and so now, instead of just sitting and telling the Bible story sitting at a desk, when the pastor's talking about the story of 4 friends who lowered their friend, through the roof to Jesus, we actually go into one of the sets there at Capernaum where the roof is open and we're filming up and we're filming down, and so we're actually able to bring that story to life as that pastor is telling it, and we're now on a set of what looks like to be, ancient Israel.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, that's exciting. So how many seasons have you done now?
So we've done 3 seasons now. First season we had 15 episodes. Second season has 20 episodes, and second season currently airs on PureFlix, and then is being distributed a lot of other places. First season is distributed kind of all over the place, and then we just filmed our 3rd season and earlier this year, and we're almost out of post-production with it. So we'll have 55 episodes, all since COVID, all since the fall of 2020, that we've, by God's grace, have been able to put together.
I have 8 grandchildren, but the youngest ones are 5 and 2. And as I've gone to visit them a few times in the past year, Blippi was the big thing that came. And I'm like, really? Nothing against it. I'm sure a lot of you parents are out there with your children watching Blippi. But I was kind of like, could there be something better that you can flip on YouTube? Are you guys on YouTube?
We have some on YouTube. There is a way to be able to see some of the episodes on our website at kidsbeachclub.org.
Okay.
They're able to see those. And then again, we're on Christian television networks and stations around the country, PureFlix and Inspiration, just a number of different platforms, and growing. Every day it's growing, and we have more and more picking up the show. Because of what you just said, there's not a lot out there, particularly in the preteen space. There's a lot of stuff for younger kids, a lot of cartoon stuff. Then you got teen stuff, but that in-between age has been kind of forgotten when it comes to wholesome family, faith-oriented filmmaking or television.
Right.
And so we didn't realize there was such a great need there until we started filming. But man, there is a huge need there, and very little is being produced for that age group.
Okay, I'll tell you the secret you probably already thought of. Do TikTok. And do some quick TikToks with kids that age from the scenes that you're doing, even past things, and get that on there, because that is exploding.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So you'll be looking for us at TikTok. It's in the works.
Is it in the works?
It's in the works. Yeah.
Figured you thought about it.
Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Frank, with Kids Beach Club, how can people get in touch with you, see you, get the shows, get involved? Tell them where they can go find you.
The best way is to go to kidsbeachclub.org, kidsbeachclub.org, and on that site you can see about how to get a club in your actual local school, as well as how to get engaged with a television show. We have handouts, downloads that parents can get to help their kids go through, use the show, but help teach character and go through that. Bible reading plans. We have the Kids Beach Club Study Bible, which we talk about in all the shows.
Wow.
But we have our own branded Bible with all of our character words and discussion and things like that in it, which is wonderful. So all of those, you can get all that at kidsbeachclub.org.
And best for ages?
8 to 12 is our target, but we've got some younger kids who are involved, and we've got some older kids as well. But those pre-teen years, that's what we really try to focus on.
We wish you much success, God's blessings on what you do and your endeavors that you're doing, and thank you for coming on Faith on Film.
Thank you. It's great to be with you. Appreciate you having me.
I'm Andrew Walkington, and I'm from the United Kingdom, and I am a filmmaker, the managing director and founder of the Cooperative British Youth Film Academy, former head of television production at United Christian Broadcasters, and a passionate Christian filmmaker. And you are watching Faith on Film.
It's so exciting. I am here with somebody that I haven't seen. I haven't seen you for a while, Tory.
Almost 4 years.
Oh yeah, this is Tory Martin, and he's been a part of the board actually of ICVM. And then you kind of took a little bit of a sabbatical, which is fine because sometimes we need that. But tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know that you have been in countless movies and all sorts of other things. But you're also the creator of a very well-known piece of content, right?
Yes, I created the character of Wooten Bassett for an audio program called Adventures in Odyssey for Focus on the Family. And yes, I created the character of Wooten Bassett for that program, and that's my biggest claim to fame. I'm also the author of Moose and Men and The Call of the Mild, and produced the movie Heaven Bound with Adam Drake. We did that together. Yes. And most recently I did this Western where I got to play a bad guy. Can you imagine?
Not Tory, bad guy.
And opposite Tom Berenger from The Big Chill, called The Desperate Riders. So yeah, that was fun. He takes me out with a mallet. I got killed by Tom Berenger. It was an exciting moment.
Wow. Now, you mentioned your book. I want to talk about your
Okay.
book because I know you sent me the book,
Yeah.
and I read it, and I got to tell you, I don't read books. Not that I don't know how to read. I have a very short
Why am
attention
I not
span.
surprised?
Yeah, I have a very short attention span, and must be ADD, I don't know, but I'll be reading, and then something will trigger a thought, and then my head goes to that thought, and I'll continue reading, but I'm no longer really capturing, and so then I'll go, what did I just read? I have no idea.
Well, you know, the good news about that is there might be a solution for it, because
I don't do drugs.
no. There is an audio version that is about to be released on the Access More Podcast Network. Oh. Yes, we've done an audio version of Moose and Man, and all my actor friends, Katie Lee, who does the voice of Connie Kendall for Adventures in Odyssey, Victoria Jackson from Saturday Night Live, Michael joined me, and they're all playing all of the characters in my book. Sound effects, music, you'll hear the bears, the moose, the whole Alaska experience.
Well,
am I about to? I don't want to take you out with my hands.
No, this is
helicopter
good.
hands.
This is good. Now, but I will tell you something. What I liked about, first of all, I loved the book. I loved the stories. But what made me be able to read it is that it wasn't like this big, long book. There was a lot of short stories.
Yeah.
Each chapter was a different story.
Standalone.
And it just made me, it just made it
Put it
easy.
down for 2 weeks and pick it up and not be lost.
In my entire life, I've only read like 6 books, literally in my whole life. And one of them was Edgar Allan Poe, and that's because it was
Well,
that
that
was
would
just
put the
stories.
kibosh on any future reading for me. That's some deep stuff. I'm looking at Edgar Allan Poe.
But that's good. Now, how would people kind of keep up with you and know what you're doing? Because I'm assuming you're not done.
No, I'm not.
So there's more things coming.
I'm having a website built now, victoriamartin.com. Otherwise, just look me up on Facebook, and you'll be hearing a lot more through the Access More Podcast Network about everything that I've got going on. So we're building the website now and adding the store for my sequel, Happy Trials, that I'm working on now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm so happy and excited to see you here again after 4 years, and I hope to continue seeing you for the next several years.
Thank you for all the years that you've invested in my career, so I could be here talking to you. That's crazy. Full circle. Thank you.
Full circle. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
What's going on, folks? I'm Cameron Arnett, and of course, you're watching Faith on Film. And if you want to know what's going on, keep watching.
Okay, what I love about being at ICVM is the young filmmakers, and this is the fun part about seeing the up-and-coming generation that wants to do projects and very interested in getting into the medium. And with me is Brandon Swartz. And Brandon, welcome to the show, Faith on Film.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
It's been fun because I've been talking to him for like 2 or 3 days and didn't even realize his first name. It's like, okay, you're great, you're awesome. So tell us about the project that you're pitching here or trying to present here.
Yeah, so me and my best friend started a production company, and we decided that we wanted to make a feature film. And so for the last 6 months, I've been working on writing a script, and we have our film. It's called Playground Heroes. It's a superhero film, and we're here looking for funding and looking for people who are interested in helping us make it.
Okay, so describe what the story's about. Real
Yes.
quick description.
Yeah, so a group of kids who love playing superheroes on the playground are now adults, and it turns out that their kindergarten teacher is a supervillain, and they have to use the powers that they didn't realize were real until now to go defeat this supervillain back in their hometown.
Sounds like a winner, doesn't it? Okay, what has this experience been like for you to come to a place where there's people from all different, countries, age groups, projects pitching? What's it been like?
It has been amazing. So it's crazy to hear the different the differences between everyone's background in film. There's just so many different ways to look at it and go about it, and I hadn't even recognized all of that until I got here. It's also been really fun meeting all these professionals because they know what they're doing, and I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
So I know a lot, but I don't know everything.
Yes.
Most people don't know everything, but I'm learning from all these people who I would never get a chance to talk to in the real world, and it's just an incredible experience all around.
It really is, because most kids your age don't get a chance to speak to directors, producers, companies, distribution companies. I mean, that's the beauty of coming here and what you get to do. I'm going to tell a little backstory. Okay, we were at Content, at Capernaum, and then we were at Content in and we were doing a pitch fest, and I was on the other side of the table getting pitched to, and Brandon walked up with his friends, and they said, we have this project, and they were telling us about what they need, the money and all that. I said, okay, Brandon, well, can we see something you've done? And we really don't have anything to show you, but this is our idea, and da-da-da. I said, okay, here's what you do. You go back, you get a pitch deck together. You make a little sizzle reel. Tell us about your project, a little simple sizzle reel. And I said, do an interview with your friends and whatever, and then, bring that back. And I come here, and what do you have?
I have it all done. I went out like the week after you told us to do that. I haven't told you this part. About a week after you told us to do that, we were at home trying to figure out what to do. And I was like, you know what? We're going to cast the sizzle reel. And within a week, we had everything cast. We had picked the scene we were doing. We'd worked through it to figure out the logistics. I was 2 a.m. when I got home because we were filming the next day. I went out and I started scouting out the location. It was like pitch black. I had my flashlight out with my younger brother, and we were looking at this playground to film. Oh man, it was so cold. But the next day we got there, we got on set, we filmed it all, we did the editing, sent it to our music guy, and it looked great. And I was so excited that we'd done it. And so without that advice, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much
You're
for
so
helping
welcome.
me.
And I didn't mean to do that. I'm just saying it's taking those little points and pointers for those of you out there, future filmmakers. You need to be prepared when you come to pitch and bring your ideas and project. And that's a way to do it. And look what he did. I mean, he went out and took the idea and thought about it, and they cast people in it, and the next day, it can be that simple. And it can bring you here. And now he actually has a company that's very interested in picking up what he's doing with his friends. That's the exciting part. And that's the things that people look back and go, oh, that was life-changing. Remember when I did that? And that's when my career did this and God did this. So it's God, isn't it?
It is God. It is always God.
So do you have any advice for young filmmakers? Are you looking to the camera and tell people what you felt like, or would you give advice to people wanting to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. My biggest advice here is don't be scared, right? I started this production company. It was a YouTube channel with my friend John, and we were like, it would just be fun to make some short films. And it became so much more than that. Over the past few years, we've been refining our craft, figuring out what we're doing, and honestly, I've had no idea what I've been doing for like a while now. It's, you take what you know, you figure out the rest as you go, and God does all the rest. It's a really fun experience. You just have to not be scared to jump in and try. The biggest mistake I've seen young filmmakers in general make is, I have this great idea and I've been working on it for so long, but I'm too scared to put it out there because if it fails, then that's a waste of my time. And if you think about it like that, then you're always going to fail. You can't succeed if you don't try. You have to think about it as, even if they don't like this copy, what's wrong with it? Because I guarantee you at least one thing about what you're doing is good. So if you learn what's bad and work on that, fixing that to make it better, then you can always make it, sorry, my brain's a little scattered.
That's okay.
You can always take it and make it something great. But if you don't try, you'll never get to that point.
But that's great advice. I love it. And how old are you?
Oh, I'm 17.
So this is sage wisdom from a 17-year-old. Thank you, Brandon. Best to you. Best, not luck, blessings to you and
Thank
fortune.
you.
And I just know God's going to move your career. And so remember this day in this interview. So when you're famous, I'm going to play this again and go, remember when we were doing that interview with Brandon? And congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for everything you've
Good
done.
interview.
Hi, I'm Doug Weiss, and I'm with Christian Cinema, and you're watching Faith on Film.
Thank you, Holly. Well, we are here now with a gentleman that I only met, I think, a year ago, but he's very famous, actually. And this is Randall Terry, who is the founder of Operation Rescue, but he's also a filmmaker. Randall, welcome to Faith on Film.
It's always good to be with you, brother.
Tell us a little bit about, well, if you want to talk a little bit about Operation Rescue, and because I know you're doing a documentary now on it.
Well, Operation Rescue was the largest civil disobedience movement in American history, still is. For perspective, the civil rights movement from 1958 to 1968 accumulated over 7,000 arrests nationwide for peaceful protests. And the rescue movement, Operation Rescue, accumulated over 70,000 arrests from 1987 to 1994. So by a factor of 10, it is the largest movement where people were being arrested for peaceful civil disobedience. Operation Rescue would recruit people to sit in front of abortion clinics and pray and sing. We used to tell people we're having church on the doorstep of hell.
Oh my goodness.
And we would shut down these abortion facilities for the day, sometimes for a week, sometimes for multiple weeks, and save babies. And also, looking at the example of the civil rights movement and the women's voting rights movement and the end of child labor, we set out to create tension. Righteous social tension, saying, look, they're killing babies and we have got to stop this. And so it ended up creating literally thousands, tens of thousands of news stories. I was on Oprah twice, one-on-one interview with Dan Rather, one-on-one interview with Leslie Stahl. I mean, front page of New York Times, Washington Post. But that little window of history has been largely forgotten because winners write history. And because the pro-life movement had not yet won any major battles, it was just kind of forgotten, deliberately forgotten by a lot of people. But once Roe versus Wade was overturned, people started looking back and saying, how did we get here? And then the news stories started to come out saying, this is because of Operation Rescue and all of the seeds that were sown in the political realm, in the cultural realm, that ended up leading to a political force so strong that Roe could be overturned. And that there were multiple states, many states, that said the moment that Roe is overturned, we will make it a crime in this state to kill a baby.
Wow. And it's all.
So we're telling the story, baby.
So now that's why you're doing documentaries, because in essence it's all kind of coming back.
I have been hauling around for 35 years, tens of thousands of documents, hundreds of hours of video footage, magazines, newspapers, arrest records, because I knew that one day this story, the story had to be told, and we had to have accurate documentation. So we've begun, our good friends and yours at CDR, Chris Rogers and Nancy, they kept footage for years, decades, literally, in storage, that was proper air conditioning and heat, and the footage is pristine. So we're moving, we're going forward, and it's going to be powerful.
That's great. Well, I've been known to be disobedient, but it's never been very civil. So that's another story. That is another story.
That's what your wife was always telling people.
Now, but you're also a filmmaker, and you recently did a film with your kids. You have 5 boys, I believe it is.
We have 4 boys.
4 boys, and they're all musicians, which is really kind of amazing too. But you did a film with them called
Time Boys.
Time Boys, and what's that about?
So Time Boys was sort of a victory lap for our family because one of our boys had cancer, and we moved to Memphis and got roots in the community. And basically, the boys said, we want to make a time travel movie. So we wrote a script and we hired the crew and ended up with a movie that won over 60 awards.
Oh my goodness.
It has a world-class soundtrack with some really famous rock and roll singers, players, blues players. We have already shot Time Boys 2. And we are in pre-production of Time Boys 3. So we'll make a trilogy. They're time travel movies. The tagline they started in 1908, and they get thrown into the future accidentally with a time machine. And now the whole story is, how do we get back home?
So if people want to just keep up with what you're doing, make sure they know how to watch Time Boys and find out about 2 and 3 and the documentary. How do they do that?
RandallTerry.com is the easiest way.
Thank you so much. I know we're here at the Storytellers Conference in Orlando, and you got a lot of stuff you got to do and people to meet. How do they say people to meet? Things to do. Anyway, so thank you for taking the time.
Isaac, it's always a pleasure. Good to see you, brother.
Likewise.
Hi there, my name is Ceci Harper, and I am originally from Bulgaria, right here in Orlando, Florida, right now attending the ICVM conference, and you're watching Faith on Film.
Well, that concludes our 4th and final episode of Faith on Film from the ICVM Storytellers Conference. Holly and I had such a great time attending this conference, not only because we got a chance to just hang out and socialize with a lot of these faith and family content creators, but because we got a chance to bring you those conversations we had with them. I mean, after all, Faith on Film is created for that very purpose. As I say at the beginning of every show, Faith on Film, a program created to keep you informed on everything that's happening in the world of faith and family entertainment. So we want to thank you for watching these shows. We sure do love bringing them to you. Now, I do want to talk to you a little bit about the conference. ICVM Storytellers Conference is a great conference for you if you are a content creator, whether you be a director, a producer, actor, writer. If you are involved in content creation in the faith and family genre, then the Storytellers Conference is a perfect place for you to attend. Now, you may not be a content creator, but you're interested in either becoming one or even just getting to meet with them and getting to know who these people are that are creating great content for faith and families. Well, you can attend as well. And all you got to do is just simply go to ICVM.com. That's ICVM.com. And you can learn all about not just the organization, but the conference itself. And you can register. I know the next conference will be held this November. I don't know exactly what the days are, but just go to the ICVM.com website and you'll learn all about when it will be held. But I know it will be this November of 2023. Sure would look forward to getting to meet some of you all, because I will be there for sure. Also, there's one other thing I would like to invite you to do, and that is to go to our YouTube channel and become a subscriber. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/@FaithOnFilmTV. That's youtube.com/ and this is very important that you add that little @/@FaithOnFilmTV. And then when you're there, just hit the subscribe button and also hit that little alarm bell. There's a little alarm bell that is right there on the page. And when you do that, what it happens is you will be notified every time we add a new show. Now, there's about 150 shows on there already, but we do add a new show every week. So you want to know when those are coming. We do expect to have some great shows coming up in the near future with more people that are creating wonderful and awesome movies for you to watch. And also, we want to hear from you. So if you could just write us an email at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. You, of course, always can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film. Faith on Film TV. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. I also want to say thank you to the students of Bob Jones University. We couldn't have done these shows without their help. The university provided us with three people that helped us, run camera and just kind of helped us keep the whole thing happening. And so I want to thank all of those. In fact, normally I would just be saying at this point, hey, until next week, take care. But today is a little different. I want you to take a look at this clip, and that'll be our goodbye to you. So we didn't really want to finish the show without showing you who has been helping us throughout this, not only today's show or this show, but all the interviews that we did while here at the conference, at the ICVM Storytellers Conference. Why don't you tell us your name?
My name is Mateo Garcia, and I'm from Mexico City.
I'm Roy Rogers. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina.
I'm Mary McKinley, and I'm from Greenville, South Carolina.
And Roy Rogers is definitely, I love that name, Roy Rogers. I just have to say that again. They've been a great crew, though. They really have, haven't they, Isaac?
Oh, they have. We're so grateful to them, and we're so grateful to Bob Jones University for making them available to help us with this show. So now we can officially say...
But shout out to Bob Jones.
Shout out to Bob Jones! Yeah.